Things change, but Deer Park Natural Spring Water is a constant you can count on, bringing you the essence of home for 150 years and counting. Sourced from carefully selected springs, Deer Park Natural Spring Water has naturally occurring electrolytes for a crisp, refreshing taste. Find Deer Park Natural Spring Water at your favorite local retailer today. After 150 years, there's only one thing left to say. Deer Park, that's still good water.
Spring is a time of renewal, so why not refresh your home with a little help from Blinds.com? Blinds.com invented a better way to shop for custom window treatments. There's no pushy salespeople in your home or inflated showroom prices. Free samples, free shipping, and our 100% satisfaction guarantee can put the spring back into your step and into your home, too. Shop Blinds.com now and save up to 45%. Up to 45% off at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This is the TJ Show, and I've been looking forward to this moment, J-Bo.
Oh, man.
I feel like I get a little peek under the hood of J-Bo.
Behave yourself, TJ.
I am so happy to welcome, and we heard from your teacher, it was a couple weeks ago for Teacher Appreciation Week.
That's right.
Miss Borgon, who you said, in your words, saved your life.
Yeah, I don't know if she remembers the story, but yeah, she saved my life.
Yeah, and very quickly recap what happened in the bathroom.
Okay, yeah, me and this girl got into a fight in the bathroom in the 5th grade. I won, of course, and not that matters in the situation. And Miss Borgon, instead of suspending me or expelling me, she just talked to me and she extended grace. She had me write a letter to the girl that I got into a fight with. That girl had to write a letter to me. And she really just helped us reconcile our situation. And I believe that if I possibly would have gotten expelled, it probably would just continued, a series of getting into fights because no one was willing to at least sit down and talk to me and understand.
She, in a way, sort of went outside the normal rule book, saw that you had so much potential, didn't want to mess you all up in the school system, and did the right thing by both of you, I would say. And it's so rare today where people are so afraid to use common sense.
Right.
And I think it's such a beautiful story. Miss Borgon, is that really you?
Yes, this is me.
Hey!
The one and only.
Hey!
Hey, how are you?
Well, I'm talking to the hero who saved J-Bo's life. I mean, this is incredible.
Yep.
Do you remember that fight that happened in the bathroom? Or
I do remember a situation because the girls there was a lot of built-up jealousy, the kids that came in, and who knows what they were experiencing over the weekend, but I think J-Bo would get bullied, and it was tough. And I think that what happened was J-Bo finally had enough. She stood up for herself.
Yeah.
But it's not always the right thing to do it physically, and that was
in the bathroom.
issue. And
in the bathroom, right.
Because I think that, and I don't know, I do know that it was, for me, it was a God thing because I said, what do I do? And I talked to both of the girls because there's so much going for her. And she was kind of at the crossroad, if you take the letter Y, you can either go off this way or you can go off this way. And I think that just letting her know that, first of all, I cared about her.
Yeah.
And I still do. And that I love her and that there's always going to be barriers and situations in your life where you feel like you're going to want to physically take it out on someone or scream or yell or be violent or anything. And this is something that I would talk to my entire class because we had a rough class, didn't we, J-Bo? I mean, we had kids.
Yeah, we're rough and tough.
A lot of these kids would come in on Monday and they had a rough weekend.
Ms. Borgon, I mean, obviously you had such a big impact on J-Bo and the way that you handled that one scenario, but it sounds like so many more. And you were so in tune with what she needed in her specific case. And it's admirable because a lot of times that kind of care and that attention to detail is not taken within the school system, oftentimes because A, teachers don't have the resources, but B, it's so hard to find that today because everyone's so afraid of what's going to happen to them. So I admire that move. And J-Bo, I didn't know that you were regularly bullied in school.
It's funny because I suppressed that. I didn't realize I was bullied either. But I'm not surprised that you remember that because I was a teacher's pet. Like I sat in the front of the class, I got an honor roll, I listened to all the rules, and I'm sure some other kids who maybe weren't doing well in school, they found me annoying.
There's such an energy and a brightness about just the way you sound. You almost sound like you're a performer. Have you ever performed and did you consider being
better talk.
Being in front of a classroom? I imagine is
my
some
God.
way a
Yeah.
performance. What's
Okay.
going on with you? Why do you have so much energy, and why are you so cool?
That's funny that you would ask that, because I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. However, when I went to the University of Central Florida, go Knights, I actually majored in theater because my goal in life was to be a movie star and to be in, are you ready? Top Gun Part 3 with Ricky Schroeder. So I don't know if I was more intimidated or if it was just something that I wasn't really ready for. And I kind of took a back step and was like, I've always loved teaching. Whenever I, from that day forward, I just knew. I said, this is really what I want to do. It's still to this day is my complete and total passion.
Ms. Borgon, what would you say is the most fulfilling part about being a teacher? Because it takes a special kind of person to want to teach in the first place, to get into the school system. What is it that just kept driving you to show up every single day?
That's a great question. It was not only the challenge of what the day was going to bring, because it was always different. It was being able to see when the student finally got it and you see that light bulb above their head. It was me guiding them into believing in themselves. It was me being able to say, you're going to make mistakes and it's okay. You got to pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and move forward. It's okay, because that's how life is. And it was just, I truly loved it. And I loved those kids. It was something that I really did. Now, not that I didn't get exhausted and worn out and be like, oh my gosh, but I had to remember why I wanted to be there. And this was what God blessed me with. I'm here. I'm going to shape the minds of the future. I need to try and not only be their teacher, but try to make them understand to every day wake up and try and be better physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in their own way. And honestly, if you tackle those 4 things in your life, you're going to do good things. You're going to mess up, and it's okay. But if that's how you try to be every single day, I wasn't their friend, because you can't, kind of like parenting. You don't want to be your child's friend. Not yet. You got to parent first. So my kids knew that there were boundaries, but that they also knew that I respected them.
And then Jabo forced you to be her friend now later in life, and you guys,
yes, absolutely.
You guys are connected.
Yes.
And now we're friends, and I still call you Miss Borgon, even though you told me I can call you by your first name.
Okay, I love it.
Which is so weird for me.
Jabo, what do you want to say to Miss Borgon all these years later? I know you've been in touch over the years. She obviously had a huge impact on your life. What do you want to share with her in this public space? I mean, maybe there's something that...
You're ridiculous, man.
What?
No, yeah, I probably am going to cry. You made a bet earlier, like, one of them is going to cry.
Well, no, I just feel like she's had such a positive impact on your life.
Right.
How often do you get to share that with your teacher?
True.
And so she's on the phone, she's listening, right? Miss Borgon, you're hearing what she's saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I mean, I think I've already shared a couple things with you, but I'll share it now publicly. Don't make it awkward or anything. But thank you for pouring into me in 5th grade. And also tolerating me when, I was just being a child, but continuing to be a light then and now. And even with, recently losing my dad, like you've continued to reach out and pour into me through that and through different phases of life. And so I think there's some people that come into your life for certain seasons, and there's some that stay forever, and they're evergreen, and that's who you are to me.
Oh, sweetheart. I love you.
I love you
Thank
too.
you for that. That's really, really super sweet. You're choking me up, honey.
Right. Did a tear fall out of your eye?
And this is why a teacher does what they do. Even if you can just touch the life of one person, and then to be able to have the honor to continue the relationship afterwards, to watch her grow into this. I mean, Jabo, I've watched you. You've called me every year. You're a beautiful person, and just like I told you in 5th grade, you have that something special, and you are an amazing young woman. You've grown into this beautiful person, and now you get to share you and your love to other people, being a radio host and doing what you do. I mean, this is an amazing thing. So you're right where you need to be. And just remember, when the days get hard, you stand up, you brush yourself off, and you put one foot in front of the other, and just have the faith.
Yeah.
Have the faith.
I don't want to make a big deal out of
Thank
it.
you.
But J-Bo's crying.
I'm tearing up.
Yeah,
I'm
there it is.
tearing up. But Miss Borgon cried
Yes,
too.
I love her.
Yeah,
We both cried.
She almost cried. You cried.
No, she cried. She said she cried.
I know.
Ms. Borgon, you are truly wonderful, and I see why J-Bo loves you and why she's been in touch with you
thank
so many
you.
years. And it's been incredible to just be able to talk to you in this space. Thank you for being willing to come on the radio, and look at what your J-Bo's doing now. And
I'm so proud
she
of her.
She is such a light in my life too.
Hey, Miss Borgon, I can't imagine having a relationship with a student this long after you taught them is common. Do you keep in touch with any of your other former students like you do with J-Bo?
Great question.
So I actually do. There is.
Wow.
No, hold on.
She's slamming her headphones on the table.
I'm just kidding.
There is one young lady who I still keep in touch with.
Give me the name.
That I ended up
Who
going
is it?
for a wedding. She now has.
Are you still in touch with the girl that J-Bo beat up in the bathroom?
No, but I hope that she is doing okay
Me too.
and well and
too.
moving forward. Because we all make mistakes, you just gotta learn from it and go on. So that's okay.
And tomorrow we'll be talking to her on the show. We have found her. No, I'm kidding.
we're not.
I wish. I really do wish. And if you're out there, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can find me at thetjshow.com. You will be hotlined right on it. Ms. Borgon, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for being on the show with us
It
today.
was great. Anytime. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Ms. Borgon, awesome.
Okay,
We got to meet her.
Thank you.
Things change, but Deer Park Natural Spring Water is a constant you can count on, bringing you the essence of home for 150 years and counting. Sourced from carefully selected springs, Deer Park Natural Spring Water has naturally occurring electrolytes for a crisp, refreshing taste. Find Deer Park Natural Spring Water at your favorite local retailer today. After 150 years, there's only one thing left to say. Deer Park, that's still good water.
Spring is a time of renewal, so why not refresh your home with a little help from Blinds.com? Blinds.com invented a better way to shop for custom window treatments. There's no pushy salespeople in your home or inflated showroom prices. Free samples, free shipping, and our 100% satisfaction guarantee can put the spring back into your step and into your home too. Shop Blinds.com now and save up to 45%. Up to 45% off at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This is the TJ Show. I took my wife out to dinner on Friday night to a restaurant that we love. And this is the restaurant that had a little robot deliver the food to us. So we place an order with a human, and then a robot shows up, and we remove it from its tray on our own.
Yeah, you mentioned that a couple months ago. They still have the robot working for them?
Well, what's interesting is now they've upgraded the robot, and this is a new and improved robot that can sing happy birthday to you.
Nice.
And I saw the reaction from some of the tables, and people were eating it up. They loved it. They thought it was the cutest thing. They were like, oh, look at that. And I'm like, this is how the robot takeover happens. It starts cute before it gets dangerous. Most dangerous things start cute. Alligators start cute.
Do they?
Rhinos start cute. Hippos start cute. Even murderers, some could say, start cute. Right? I mean, when they're babies. So you see where this is going, J-Bo? We got to
No.
be very careful with what seems cute. Don't trust it because it's cute.
Relax, TJ. Take a nap.
J-Bo, what's happening in your world today?
My husband Archie comes into town today, and I'm looking
nice.
forward to that.
He is?
Yeah, he's coming into town.
Do I get to hang out with him?
No.
Wait, why not?
No, because how often do I get to hang out with
No,
him?
I know, but you should work in some
No,
TJ time into his schedule.
TJ is the kind of person that if his wife Jess goes out to dinner with me, he's like, Jess, when are you coming home? How long is it going to take? You don't like for anybody else to have time with your wife. How do you think I'm going to let you have time with my husband who's never home?
That's not true. I have people hang out. I mean, she can make her own decisions, first of all. I always prefer that she's with me. But
Right.
I never stop her from hanging
Oh,
out with
I
other
didn't say
people.
you stopped her. I'm
No.
just saying you don't like to share. Therefore,
I do
I
love-
too don't like to share. My husband Archie's in the U.S. Army. We live in two different states majority of the year for the last 3 or 4 years. When he comes to town, you don't get any Archie time.
Well,
TJ.
let's trade spouse time.
No.
You get some. I'll give you some Jess
No,
time.
I'm
You give me
good.
some Archie time. All right, fine. We're
I'm
gonna
good.
work this out. But no, for the record, I always want to share my wife. She's too much of a blessing to keep all to myself.
Well, I
So-
don't want to share my husband.
Well,
for the
that's
record,
fine.
that's fine. He's so much of a blessing. I want to keep it for myself.
Hey, well, listen. Everyone's got their way of doing things. Respect. Hey, Kenny, what's happening in your world today?
Do you remember the guy who played Al Borland on Home Improvement, Richard Karn?
No.
No, you don't remember that
I mean,
guy?
if
me
I
neither.
saw him, I'd probably recognize him because I watched that show growing up. I just don't remember who it was.
Well, he is doing infomercials now, and he convinced me. I was got by an infomercial over the weekend. I saw Richard Karn. He's promoting this pocket hose. It's one of these hoses that starts out small, but when you fill it up with water, it expands to like 50 to 100 feet.
I never heard of that.
Well, it's the coolest thing ever. Check it out, the pocket hose. Richard Karn did a great job selling it to me, and I bought one at Target over the weekend.
It starts off cute, now it's going to get dangerous. Just like TJ said, be careful.
Wait, but you like it?
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, great. So
I'm
you
just
didn't get got, you were served.
I was served, yeah. He did a great job selling to me, and I didn't think I would ever be convinced by an infomercial to buy something, but it happened to me this week.
Well, and also, worst case scenario, let's just say it didn't work out, which is not the case. He's Al from Home Improvement. It's like
Yes.
your babysitter when you were a kid.
You're absolutely right.
It's like a tip for the way that he babysat you in front of the screen. And look, and you're still watching the screen even today.
But you know what's funny? On the box, it says Richard Karn's pictures on it, home improvement expert. He's a home improvement actor. I don't know.
Wow.
He's become a home improvement expert.
Well, maybe
he was
he
on the
has.
show.
Maybe he
I
has
think
become
he has,
an expert,
yeah.
right? I mean, the best method actors actually learn what they're doing.
Yep.
I guess that's what happened.
Maybe that's why his performance was so great.
He got me.
I need to bring this up again because I don't think this went according to plan, Jabo.
All right, what is it?
You remember a few weeks back when the Knicks were playing the 76ers?
Yep.
Producer Kenny was sending all kinds of taunting messages to our camera guy Josh. Now, camera guy Josh, big Sixers fan, grew up following the team, right?
Yep.
Kenny grew up in the New York area, big fan of the Knicks, and even on Josh's birthday weekend, you may remember he sent this message to him.
Hey, Josh, it looks like the Sixers forgot your birthday this year.
I mean, incessant Joker-style laughter. Now, I don't know if anyone saw last night. Jabo, you happened to catch the game.
I did not catch the game.
Do you know what happened?
No, they lost. The Knicks lost. Yeah, I woke up this morning and just checked her, and they lost.
That's not the plan that you were hoping for.
No, I was really hoping to get back to the conference finals for the first time in 24 years.
No, some sports fans would blame Kenny for being overly confident.
Did I jinx them?
I don't know. I mean, you act
Yeah,
like that.
you out there boasting for sure.
I don't know what it was, but something
Gloating.
didn't exactly help them. You were recording yourself during the game, and it was pretty clear by the end that they were not going to win. Mm-hmm. And so, like National Geographic Channel follows animals, he followed himself as a human sports fan. This sounds very sad and actually alarming. I don't know that a girlfriend would stick around for a very long period of time after this reaction, but you decide.
I know, baby.
Like, Jabo, at this point, you would tell him to pack and just like leave because it would get too weird, right?
No, I tell him to toughen up. Stop being a little punk.
Yeah. Let it out.
Like, this really makes me cringe. It's hard for me to listen to this.
His girlfriend's too kind.
Seriously.
I know, I'm sorry.
Like, you really can't care that much. So that's why I'm confused. Like, what is it? Are you trying to make her laugh?
No, I mean, I got my hopes up on this, and I don't know why I've done that. I mean, the Knicks have been so bad for so long that I stopped paying attention for the longest time.
Look what you did to yourself.
Oh, you tell me the Jets are going to do good this year?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I got a good feeling.
And they talk to each other like they're
That's
babies.
a lie. The Jets ain't gonna do good this year. You know they're not.
I'm going to start crying again.
I wanted to win as he's buried in her arm.
Sure.
Yeah. 20 years since the Knicks made a final.
It's okay.
Ben Stiller and Jon Stewart clapping for, ooh, thanks for a good season.
That's a nice thing to do.
Yeah, I guess it's nice.
They're giving hand hearts.
Hand hearts.
What, you're mad at Jon Stewart and Ben Stiller for saying good season?
The game was out of hand, and they started taking out all the starters, and the crowd was giving a round of ovation,
You don't do
including
that.
the celebrities. You know, hey, good season, whatever they were trying to say, but I just wasn't in the mood for
Guy's
that.
mad
last
at Jon Stewart.
No, stop.
I wonder what his neighbors think.
That's what sports is about. You win some, you lose some, you know?
And Kenny loses a lot.
Well, here's the thing. Kenny, being a Jets fan, you should be used to losing. I don't know why this hurts you so bad. This should be like just a little hit in the chin. Keep it moving.
I guess with the Jets, I always manage my expectations, and I should have known better, J-Bo. You're right. I should have known better this time. I don't know why I thought this was going to be the year.
You've been working out in the loser's gym for quite a while. And that muscle should be strong. J-Bo.
TJ.
My garbage was speaking to me today.
That's weird.
You know how you got like that little lid and it opens and it looks like a mouth? No, but it wasn't that kind of speaking to me. By the way, I had an uncle who did that one time to my kids, and I was like, wow, I'd never seen that before, where he started jostling the foot pedal, making the trash bin talk to the kids. The kids loved it. It was very funny. You can use that if you want. Anyway, no, I mean my garbage was speaking to me because it went deep. And I mean like since Friday night, we had this leftover sauce. I saw my wife dump it in the garbage, and I made a mental note. I said, I better take that out before it becomes a problem. Because, if you get sauce and liquids and then you start stuffing it, if the bag gets punctured, it becomes a mess.
Yeah,
But, I didn't think about it. And so keep putting things in the garbage pail, keep stuffing it down. And then I just assumed on Saturday at some point, when I saw it was full, I just assumed, my wife must have changed it. And, she did some cooking and cleaning, and then she I didn't realize it was the same bag from Friday. Well, much to my surprise, this morning, that thing couldn't be pushed down anymore. You ever get to the garbage and it's compact.
Yeah, the trash is like, it's enough. Take me out already.
You've done that trick way too many times now.
There's no more room.
And I'm trying. I go, all right, well, now the top of the lid is actually open. It won't even close because there's so much stuff. So I go, well, yeah, this is me. I got to take it out now. Yep. And so I take it out, and my biggest fear happened. The sauce from Friday night starts coming through this hole in the bottom of the bag. And I'm like,
goodness.
And so because I just kept stuffing stuff inside of it, it made a much bigger mess than it had to. Had I just taken it out on Saturday or even Sunday. But now, Monday morning, I'm just dealing with this disaster, and I'm trying to get to work.
Did it get all over your shoes?
All over the floor, J-Bo.
Oh.
This red mystery liquid, which wasn't just sauce. It was other stuff in there, too. And so then I got to triple bag it. Like 2 bags was not enough because there was a spiky thing in there. I think it was like a skewer from a s'more that the kids made over the weekend.
Yeah, that's what did it.
Yeah, and I had to get some extra protection. So now I've got this garbage that's sealed up. It's probably going to be in a landfill. It's like a time capsule, and it's going to be there for centuries.
Yeah.
But I get a mop and I get a rag and I'm cleaning up, and I'm like, man, had I just taken care of the problem when it was supposed to be taken care of, had I not been, and when I said the garbage was speaking to me, what I meant was, isn't that kind of like how we are as people? We keep taking more stuff on, keep taking more stuff on, keep saying, oh no, I can do this one more thing. Oh no, I can hang out with that group of friends too. Or, oh, they need a favor, let me do a favor. And before you know it, you explode.
Yep.
And you wonder, like, why did I do this to myself?
Yeah.
Why have I taken on all of this garbage, this
feel
stuff
tapped out.
that I don't need? I should have taken out the trash long ago. And I think in life, that's like, can I say no to certain things? Can I reject this offer to do something that's going to, it's that's how the garbage was speaking to me, man. And I wanted to share it with you because
good.
I don't know how you're taking on all that you're taking on, but I think it's time to say no to some things because we don't want to be the exploded, nasty garbage that now I'm triple bagging because I don't want the liquid to go in my car too.
Sometimes you don't want to say no because you think you're going to miss out, but sometimes you need to say no. You're not missing out. What you're missing out is on rest.
Yes.
And peace of mind.
You want to be an exploded garbage bag or not? Kenny, practice. Say no.
No!
Yeah, that's right. You have a hard time saying no, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be a garbage bag.
Yep.
I don't want to talk to garbage either.
Right, I know. It was interesting. I never had a garbage speak to me like that, but since I did, it's a big story. I had to share it. This is the TJ Show.
Want to be more active this summer? Sierra helps you save on everything from swimsuits to stand-up paddleboards, tennis rackets to fishing tackle. And if that doesn't float your boat, we also have pool floats. Sierra, let's get moving to your local store, like now. Go!
Have you ever wondered what it's like to bite into Nerds gummy clusters? They're fruity. They're tangy. They're gummy. And they're crunchy. Nerds Gummy Clusters, a union of fruity sweet gummy and tangy crunchy nerds. Unleash your senses. Shop now at nerdscandy.com.
This is the TJ Show. Jabo, thank you again for sharing your 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Borgon, with us.
Oh, you're welcome. She's awesome.
She's wonderful. Doesn't it like throw you back to that time when you talk to someone from that era?
Yeah.
School teachers.
I feel like a child.
Yeah, right. I know. We're full-grown adults.
That's how I feel every day.
Yeah, I know. That's another issue. Kenny, you read through every story you can find, and then you bring us the most interesting ones. By the way, if you missed Mrs. Borgon, you can find it in our podcast after the show at thetjshow.com. What's happening on the planet today, Kenny?
I want to tell you about Mary Leahy. She's an 18-year-old violin player. She's been playing since she was a kid. She comes from a family of musicians. She was scheduled to perform this big violin solo at the Peterborough Music Festival in Ontario, Canada. But 2 days before this big performance, she fell off of a farm cart and broke her right wrist.
Oh. That's terrible.
Yeah, hard to hold the bow when your wrist is broken. But thankfully, her father, Donald Leahy, is considered one of the best fiddle players in Canada. He toured with Shania Twain back in the late 90s. He stepped in and helped her perform this solo. So he held and oscillated the bow with his right hand while his daughter, Mary, played the chords and the strings with her healthy left hand.
Oh, that's super cool. Well, that's convenient that her dad is that guy.
Yeah.
He knows what to do.
Wonder how tough that is, too. You know?
Yeah, well, she said, I don't know, but I managed to play with my left hand only. It was really hard. And then she said, because her father's such a violin player, that his left hand was on her back, playing the left hand parts on her back. So she said that was a little distracting, and it kind of tickled me. She had to imagine herself playing the bow with her right hand, but she wasn't actually doing it.
Well, that's a sweet story.
She's been touring with her parents for 12 years. She started fiddle lessons at age 4, and she thought she'd be sitting on the sidelines, but thanks to her dad, they did something really interesting and created a little bit of a viral moment up at that music festival.
Kenny, what else is going on today?
I want to tell you about this story out of Ohio. So this pizza place, Pizza Aroma, receives an order for over $100, 16 pizzas. They said, we'll pick it up the next day. Then, of course, they didn't hear back from the person who made the order until the next day when the pizzas were in the oven. She called, and I guess she wanted to cancel the order.
Yeah.
They told her the pizzas are already in the oven, and then she just simply didn't show up.
Let's see. That's why. Remember the other day we were talking about how it's so hard now to place an order by phone because everyone's using these apps and DoorDash, and this is not making it easier. You know, if you're going to make an order, you got to actually pick it up.
You got to show up and pay for it.
Well, the folks at this pizza place took their story and I guess, wanted to vent a little bit on social media. And that caught the attention of another small business owner, Travis Truesdell. He called and he said he wanted to make a big order. Of course, the pizza place was very skeptical, having been had just the week earlier. But he paid with his credit card over the phone, so that was good. Not only that, he said, I'd like to pay for that order that was never picked up last week.
Well, that's nice.
He
That's
did.
cool.
As a matter of fact, he heard the story or read about the story on social media and said, I have a lot of gratitude for people who have helped me out in similar situations where I was in need and they helped me with no strings attached. I was happy to be in a place to pay it back. Anytime you can right a wrong, when you have the ability or luxury, why not do it?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you know what? Some places are doing a lot worse off than we'd think. Just because they're open doesn't mean that the money's flowing in the door or with rent prices going up.
Yeah.
There's a pizza place that I grew up going to for years. It was like an institution in my local town. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's some other interior design store. I'm like,
Oh,
whoa,
that's
whoa,
heartbreaking.
What happened? That's where we got our pizza. So it's a great story. Kenny, what else do you have?
What's the amount of time you need to spend outside in order to feel refreshed? How much time does that take for you?
Wow, never enough. But probably, I don't know, an hour or so.
Yeah, I don't have a time to it.
Yeah, 67 minutes is the magic number according to a new survey that was put on by Talker Research and commissioned by RV Share. They found that over half of Americans, 57%, are looking to spend more time outdoors.
There is something great about just inhaling air that's not air conditioned and just natural and like feeling the sun.
Yeah, I
on
do
your
notice a
skin.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife forces me to take walks sometimes which is sad, but I do feel better every time we go. Like, she'll take me out to the middle of the woods and we'll go on this little hiking trail that she knows about. She knows about all the hiking trails.
Nice.
And it's fun. You see like what nature's doing. You see little squirrels up to their squirrel stuff. Deer one day. It was a deer just hanging out. Didn't even leave.
chilling, yeah.
Yeah, when I walked past, I was like, bro, that's awesome. Thank you for letting me walk past you.
Well, you hear the expression more and more these days, touch grass. Get out and touch some grass.
Now you're going a little too far.
For those who spend time outside, they say it relaxes them, 68%. 66% said it puts them in a better mood and helps them clear their heads. On the other hand, spending more time inside can lead to feelings of depression, anxiousness, and loneliness.
What about screen time inside? That's a nice duo, huh?
Yeah, the study didn't get into that, but they did say that nearly 6 in 10 Americans will get stir-crazy after spending too much time inside, with the average threshold being about 10 and a half hours.
Let's get outside more, even on a lunch break, if it means going out, walking to go grab your food. You know, I got to think about that sometimes. It's so easy for me to just bring food or eat a snack bar that I have in my bag. I got to get out there and go somewhere.
A little sunlight, a little vitamin D.
That's right.
Good for you.
Kenny, what else do you have?
Ed Dwight was NASA's first black astronaut candidate back in the 1960s. And unfortunately, in his professional career, he never made it to space. But his dreams just came true at the age of 90, and he's now the oldest person to ever travel to space. He broke William Shatner's record that was set in 2021. And this was all part of a Blue Origin private space tourism flight. Blue Origin is Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' space tourism company.
Well, way to go, Ed. Awesome.
That's really cool.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, he made it to space.
What else you got, Kenny?
Visa announced last week some changes to how credit and debit cards will operate in the United States in the coming months and years.
It's going to help the consumer. All right, what do you got for me?
They say they're some of the biggest changes since chip-embedded cards rolled out a couple of years ago. And we're getting closer and closer to a day where people don't have to carry as many cards, maybe just one card or maybe no cards at all, physically speaking. They also say that 16-digit number that's printed on the card will soon become irrelevant.
Yeah. How close are we to palm reading or eye scans? What do you think? How many more layers we have?
Well, some of that is already going on right now, but Visa wasn't commenting about that. But essentially, they did make comparisons to the Apple Card, which is using MasterCard for its payment network. There's no number on an Apple Card, and Apple users can change that 16-digit number online at any time without having to replace the card. So that's one
helpful
thing that they're going to be rolling out with Visa cards. Another thing is having to do with mobile wallets. So the idea of not having to carry around a physical card at all. Right now, if you wanted to add your Visa credit card to your Apple Wallet, for instance, you'd have to manually type in all of those digits or scan the card with your phone's camera. They want it so that all of that information is transferred with a tap process. So just tap your card to your phone, and then it's ready to be used in your mobile wallet.
Well, seems like we're headed in that direction. You need your phone to eat.
Don't eat your phone.
Better keep your phone on. Keep it in good standing.
Yeah.
Kenny, what else do you have?
It appears the workday lunch rush at restaurants seems to be going away as more consumers seem to be saving their workday lunch money so they could spend it when they're off the clock on the weekends or at night.
Huh. People are more budget conscious. Well, everything's costing more money. So you got to cut somewhere.
Yeah, they say weekday transaction volumes from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday were down 3.3% last year compared with 2019. However, on the weekends, they're up 4.2% and 0.3% up even during weekday happy hours from 4 to 6 p.m. This all comes from data from Square, the payment platform that many restaurants and businesses use.
So maybe I'm analyzing the data wrong. Less nutritious meals and more drinking.
Maybe.
Well, who knows? Because they are still going out on the weekends and having lunch. Or are they just skipping lunch altogether during the week?
I don't know.
Or bringing their own lunch from home. They do say that, as far as your point with budget consciousness, brunch is a big driving force of these weekend stats that we're seeing, and it's estimated that brunch is more accessible or at a more accessible price point than dinner. People still want to go out to eat. They can afford brunch, but dinner is more expensive.
Brunch is one of the best inventions. I wish that it would be, no longer just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Brunch should be at that same status every day. But it's hard to get people to jump on board with that. It's wonderful.
Well, you can do it, TJ.
Well, it's true. I guess I got to be the change I want to see, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Forgive me for that.
You got it.
Kenny, thanks for keeping us somewhat informed.
That's what's happening.
I saw something fly by on my social media feed over the weekend. Always the most encouraging place on the planet.
It can be, depending on who you follow.
Yeah, well, I'm following the wrong people, including like all the major news organizations.
It's time to hit unfollow on that bad boy.
I happened to catch this clip. I guess it was from something that was happening in Congress. And I just see all these people insulting one another. Like, these are people in our government. Did you catch that clip?
I saw that, scrolled right past it.
It feels like something you would see in a South Park episode. Mm-hmm. And you'd go, oh, that would never happen. It's like a bunch of kids on a playground hurling insults at one another. And you're like, how in the world has it gotten this bad? And is it going to get any better over the next few months or more? And I was scratching my head there. I watched the whole thing. And it's got a lot of views and a lot of comments. And guess what? It sparked a fight in the comments section.
I'm sure it did.
So now all these people that were not in the room, now they're fighting about what Congress is fighting about. And, you would think, or at least when I think about when I was growing up, people in these types of prestigious jobs were really revered as people who you look up to. And maybe one day, if you've done a great job with school and you've gotten straight A's, you too can be a part of the government and serve this country. And it's like, man, these people, something happened where now whoever was fighting on the playground, they're now fighting in these really prestigious spaces.
But also, back then, there wasn't cameras on phones. So maybe there were arguments happening behind closed doors that we just didn't have access to. And now we do.
Well, that's true. But what's so scary about this is that this is like the C-SPAN view.
Yeah.
This is like
on TV.
This was intentional and on purpose. And then when there was a chance for everything to settle down, it just kept getting worse and worse. And I was kind of shocked by it. And it's surprising to me that I am shocked by it because we've seen some wild things going on. But I was still shocked by it.
If it makes you feel any better, I've seen video of parliament or other government meetings from other countries where they actually do get physical.
Well, that's happened here too.
In the halls of Congress?
I think so, right? Hasn't there been people, or maybe it's in the courtroom, I'm thinking, where somebody jumped over.
Some bows.
Yeah, I thought we haven't got to that point yet. I hope not.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe the space that I saw was just a good old-fashioned courtroom. Somebody jumped
good old
over.
Debate.
Yeah, and tackled the judge. But man, we are in interesting
I know what
times.
video you're talking about, yeah. It was all over the internet a couple months ago where a judge was sentencing somebody to jail.
Yes.
And this guy took off and leaped over her bench and assaulted her. That was insane. Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably right in that maybe some of this ugly stuff was going on and there just wasn't as much access to seeing, I'm sure there have been tiffs throughout the course of history, but we catch every single thing. And what's even more interesting to me is that we're not catching the good stuff. When the good stuff goes out, people are bored by that, so they scroll past it.
Yep.
When the stuff is hitting the fan, people are watching and they're commenting and they're engaging. So we're engaging in all of the fights and the bullying that's funny or interesting. But when it comes to the actual issues, no one's got time for that.
Right.
Right? Everyone's just like, nah, where's the next fight?
But then you watch the videos of the arguing and the fighting, and then that settles into your spirit, and then you walk around with a whole attitude, and you have the shortest patience for people, and you wonder, why am I so angry? Well, look what you're consuming. Look what you're allowing to go into yourself, into your eyes, into your ears. It's going to come out of your mouth, what you consume.
That is a phenomenal point. Right. We're carrying that with us, and we're looking for the next hit of fighting and entertainment.
Right.
That's not supposed to be entertainment. So thank you for turning on the TJ show today. J-Bo and I haven't fought yet today, which is great.
No, not today.
Or even the last week, no fights.
No,
the week before that. We get along pretty well.
Pretty well, yeah. No fighting.